because not from what I've seen with my own eyes, but from what I've heard from talking to so many agents all over the country. Real estate has changed. The industry has changed. Today I have 5 questions that I'm going to share with you guys that I heavily asked myself and considered before I made the decision to switch to Real Brokerage. So if you are somebody who is considering switching to Real Broker, if you're considering switching brokerages in general, if you're a new agent considering joining a brokerage for the first time, or if you're just curious, you're going to want to stay tuned until the very end. You are not going to want to miss anything today. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Mariah. I'm a real estate agent in the beautiful state of Oregon. If you're a realtor outside of the state of Oregon and you have a client relocating to Oregon, send them my way. I'd love to give you a referral fee. I became a real estate agent when I turned 18 in 2015, and I was with the same exact real estate brokerage my entire career. Always said I will never, ever, ever switch until almost a year ago now. I joined Real Brokerage, and let me just tell you, it has been life-changing, best decision I ever made for my business, but also just for my future. There's so many reasons. I'm not going to get into it today. And if this is your first video that you're watching about Real Broker in general, I am not going to be explaining like what Real Broker is, the company, like why you wanted to, why I wanted to join. I'm not going to explain any of that in today's video. So definitely head over to my channel. I have a handful of videos. I have an entire playlist dedicated to Real Brokerage, and it's going to share all those things that you're going to want to know. But today, we're going to share these 5 questions that are very important if you are considering joining really things that you're going to want to ask yourself before you make the decision to move there, because it's probably not for everyone. The first question you're going to need to ask yourself before you join Real is, am I okay with having a principal broker that is not in the office? Okay, so I'll just share a little bit of my personal journey, story, whatever with this. So when I was a brand new agent, I was at a big franchise office, and I had the best principal broker in the whole world. I am so grateful for her. She truly helped my business so much because she took the time. We had about 100 agents or so at the time at my one franchise office building, and she took the time to meet with me every single week and pour into me, hold me accountable, basically just help me reach my goals. Probably felt the need to because I was a little bit reckless when I was 18 and I really needed the guidance. She probably didn't want the company to get sued or something, but that honestly, I feel like made such a big difference in my real estate career. Now, honestly, if I was at the same company now, this many years later in 2024, would I be getting that one-on-one time? No, because the things have changed. The way that the company is run has changed. Every company is going to look so different from principal broker to principal broker, from owner to owner. We have entirely different staff, principal brokers, owners of that company than we did when I first joined it. So it looks and is run entirely different. Not saying that it's bad at all, but what I am saying is, back when I joined, the principal broker we had, and I have a reason for sharing all this, so stay with me here, but the principal broker we had when I first joined, she did not sell. She was out of production. She'd sold for like 20 whatever something years, but she was out of production at the time when she was the principal broker, and her only job was to be there for her agents and be the principal broker for her real estate agents and help them and train them and all of that. Now, the way that it's ran, I don't know what had to change, but now their principal brokers do sell themselves. They are not just only there to support their agents, like they're actually competing with you. It is an entirely different situation. Also, like hardly anyone's ever in the office. If you were to walk in there, it just does not look and feel the same. So the reason I say this is because I think that the entire real estate industry has changed so much from the time I got my real estate license back in 2015 when that situation happened, when that's what my life in real estate and the office looked like. I think the real estate industry has changed because from what I've seen with my own 2 eyeballs and what I've heard from talking to so many agents, I talk to agents all the time over Zoom. Because I get the opportunity to chat with agents who are considering joining Real. By the way, if you're considering joining Real Broker, and you just want to talk and see if it might be a good fit for you or not, get some questions answered, let's hop on a Zoom call. I'd love to chat with you as well. I'll put my email address below. Feel free to reach out anytime. But I think that the situation I just described, where the principal broker doesn't sell themselves. They're in the office all the time, available for you. That situation in 2024, I hate to say it, is so rare. That's like extinct now almost. And I know this, like I said, because not from what I've seen with my own eyes, but from what I've heard from talking to so many agents all over the country. Real estate has changed. The industry has changed. Principal brokers are not just sitting there in the office anymore. People don't even go to the office anymore. It is rare if you have an office where people go to the office consistently. That is a rare, rare thing. And like this all changed, I think, in 2020, played a big role. Things never really came back to normal necessarily, but I've even seen a lot of offices like changing their, like downsizing, getting smaller office buildings because they can't afford to keep paying for these big buildings, or they're like, why are we paying for this? People don't come work from the office. But my whole point in saying this is I feel that it's going to be if that's the kind of care that you want in your real estate business, first of all, it's going to be very difficult to get that even at a brick and mortar style brokerage in 2024, to be honest with you. But also, I just heard a gal who is at Real Brokerage say she is saving $22,000 a year by not, because she calculated like how much she's saving from having a more desirable commission split and all of that. That's how much she's saving to not have that like style principal broker office, whatever. So what is it going to look like at Real Broker? No, there is no office. There is no principal broker to go meet with in person. There is a principal broker though. Every single state has their own principal broker, and their sole job, I don't believe they're supposed to sell it all themselves. Their only job, as far as I know, I could be wrong, I'm almost positive, their only job is to take care of their agents. I know from my experience, I have called our principal broker here in Oregon a handful of times. He has literally always picked up on like the second ring. So easy to access, so kind, so generous and available and easy to get answers from, and just ready and willing to help. Now, I cannot speak for every state. We have agents who we sponsor at Real Broker who have joined under us, which I'll talk about that in a little bit, who are in other states, and maybe in your state your experience isn't the same with your principal broker. By the way, if you're with Real, I'd love to hear what your principal broker experience is like in your state. Let me know in the comments below, but mine has been nothing short of terrific. Okay, so there's that. You have a principal broker, you might not be meeting with them in person. However, they are in your state and you can call them anytime with questions. They should be readily available to answer very easily. Also, you have a sponsor. The way that Real Broker has set up their company is to where most real estate brokerages are paying all these other fees for middlemen, recruiters, all of that. Real Broker doesn't do that. I'm pretty sure they don't even have marketing expenses because it is grown through word of mouth. They give back to their agents. They pay their agents essentially to bring other agents to the company. It's their way of giving back to them. And in my opinion, this model works so much better because now when you sponsor somebody at Real, you have a vested interest in their success. You are going to be there for them. They can reach out to you anytime with questions that they have about marketing, prospecting, anything like that. If they want to run ideas by you, if they want you to hold them accountable, if they want to hop on a Zoom call with you, like these are all things your sponsor should be able and willing to do for you. And so that's another thing is at other companies, you don't have that. Some companies, maybe you do, but at most other companies, like these big franchise companies, you do not have that option. So this to me is just like another support person, and it does not cost you anything to have a sponsor here at Real. Okay, so I feel like I touched on that topic for a minute, but let's move on to the next one. The next question to ask yourself before you join Real Broker is, do my values align with the real estate brokerage that I'm with, or with Real Broker, the one I'm thinking about joining? Do my values align with them? The values at Real Broker are work hard and be kind. That's one of their mottos. And their other motto, I don't know if it's a motto or not, but I know it's one of their values, is agents helping agents and agent collaboration. Again, the whole way that they have set this company up is to where there is an incentive for their agents who are like the top agents in their company all over the country. There is an incentive for them to teach classes and share with the other agents at their company across the country every week on like these mastermind calls exactly what's actually working for them to get business. In my opinion, there is nobody better to learn from than somebody who is actually doing the thing. You know what I mean? And they're not gatekeeping because they're not even in your market. So they're definitely not like holding anything back from you. It is in their best interest because of the way that Real has set the company up for you to succeed, whether you're in their like network downline or not. I have found that there is a really great sense of community within Real Broker, even if it's not necessarily all local, there are so many agents I've had the chance to chat with and connect with and collaborate with across the country that I would have never had the chance to get to know or talk to. And they might not be in my state. I might not have this like big community of agents in my state per se, but I definitely feel like I had that with agents. And my camera cut me off and I'm not sure where it cut me off at, so we're moving on to the next point now. The next question you need to ask before you decide to switch to Real Broker is my brand my real estate brokerage, or am I creating my own brand, like my own personal brand? So one thing that I've noticed about Real Broker that's different from my previous brokerage and many of the big brick and mortar style, franchise style brokerages I've seen out there is that Real Broker really encourages you, but also makes it easy for you to grow your own personal brand as a real estate agent. For example, my husband and I are a real estate team. Our team is Vetrus Crawford Realty Group. We do a lot of branding under that name. When I was at my previous real estate brokerage that I was with before, we had to use one specific color, one specific shade of purple, one specific font for literally everything that we did. And a lot of the agents were kind of writing on that brokerage's name, if you will. They kind of felt like that brand is what gave them value as a real estate agent. But times have changed. It is 2024, people. Your real estate company is not as big of a deal as it used to be, if any. I know, thinking back over the last year, like not a single one of my clients have asked me what real estate brokerage I'm with. I switched brokerages. None of my clients knew. It didn't make a difference at all to them, except it made a difference to me. Are you writing on your brokerage's brand, or are you here to create your own brand? If you are, then Real Brokerage might be a good option for you. The next question you need to ask yourself before joining Real Brokerage is, who do I want as my sponsor? So I've talked about this before in previous videos, but when you join Real Broker, you have the opportunity to sign up with a sponsor. What is your sponsor? Basically, it is the first person that you heard about Real Broker from / whoever's name you want to put down on the ICA, the Independent Contractor Agreement. That will be your sponsor, your go-to person who decides your principal broker, of course, in your own state. If you have a question, if you want to run some ideas by them, if you want some inspiration, like if you want accountability, whatever that looks like, they are your person that you have access to be able to ask questions and answer, and like they're cheering for you and rooting for you. So it's up to you who you want as your sponsor. It doesn't cost you anything to have a sponsor. I don't know if you're able to not have a sponsor, but I don't see why anyone wouldn't, because it literally doesn't affect how much money you make or get paid. It doesn't change anything. Okay, next question is, you need to ask yourself, seriously, am I okay with not having a workspace to work in, like an office space, a cubicle? Okay, so here's my life situation. I'll share my perspective. I don't have the type of work schedule where I am waking up and getting right to work and then I'm done at like 5. Like that is absolutely not how my day looks. Most often, if I do have a work activity that I'm doing that day, I have a time block for it in the middle of the day, and then the rest of my day is non-real estate related, because I am just that's the phase of my life that I'm in right now with like a young kid. It's just not the phase of my life where I want to be working on my real estate business all day. If I was somebody who was structuring my real estate business in the way that I wanted to be at the office working at 8 and done at 5, like if that's how I wanted to run my real estate business, then maybe it would be in my best interest to have an office. But honestly, at my previous brokerage, the top producers at the office had their own office rooms, if you will, like a private room. Everybody else had a little cubicle that was out in the open. My husband and I had a private office room. We did pay for it though. You still have to pay fees, whether you're in a cubicle or you get your own room, you're still paying those fees. And I never used that office. Like as soon as I became a mom, I only work from home. If I'm working when my daughter's napping, it doesn't make sense for me to go to the office, or oftentimes I literally can't go to the office because I can't leave my house. So my life right now, it makes sense to work from home, or like right now, I'm working from my car. And today, the only work I'm doing, it's all gonna be from my car. So that's just what's, like I have to work where I'm at, when I have time, when it's time blocked into my schedule, when it makes sense. And it does not make sense for me to be driving to an office. So if you're in a situation like mine, where it doesn't make sense, or you just don't want to be working from an office, because I know a lot of people like just don't even if they're not parent, like they don't go into the office, then maybe Real Broker is a good fit for you. Otherwise, maybe it's not a good fit for you. That is it for today's video. If you watched this video all the way through, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell because I come on here every week with new videos. And like I said earlier, we love chatting with you guys in the comment section. Feel free to leave any questions or video suggestions in the comment section below, and I'll see you next week.